Hey everyone, this is Hiil Street Soul, and you're tuned in to the core with DaMillennialCoach, discussing topics on real life. Check it out. Everywhere you go, don't forget the ghetto. Listen to the core.
Hey, it's me, DaMillennialCoach, and this week we are talking about the mind. Mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. And what we have identified on the core is understanding that your behavior is a result of your thoughts and also your feelings that create the action that then demonstrates their behavior. So we know there's a reason behind people's behaviors, but it starts all in the mind. So don't take that lightly, and also consider that you're a human being going through a spiritual experience. It's just normal to have these things. But welcome back to the core. I am the Millennial Coach, and we are discussing mindset. And if it's the first time that you have come to the show, welcome. And if you're coming back to be re-offended, come on back. Grab your snacks, as Wendy would say, and come on back. I'm glad that you've taken time to actually listen to the show and like, subscribe, and share. That helps the show grow and also the channel grow. It's not easy as a person doing it on YouTube, and it's also a new thing for me. So I am actually trying to take advantage of being in a new space and actually giving you me rather than being on radio. I'm actually showing you the real version of who I am. So this the 5-part series of this week is about mindset, and I am going to be talking every week about something, a different subject, and it will probably intertwine with a different experience or different show that I've done. And I'm actually going to put all the radio shows affiliated with this subject down below, so feel free to log on, take a listen. If you like music, you're going to hear a little bit of my DJ skills, and if you ever want me to be at your parties, just email me at da.millennialcoach.com. DaMillennialCoach@gmail.com. You can't remember so much when you're doing this. Luckily, I have a prompter, so I know what I'm talking about, because if I didn't, honestly, I'll be talking a load of rubbish, but in line with the subject to some degree. So, as I say, let's go. Yalla, Yanko. So day one, mindset. So it's really important to understand the impact of mindset and what that looks like. It's not the easiest thing to change, and I don't think people realize how challenging life actually is when it comes to changing your mind. I know that when I do mindset work, not just on other people, but also on myself, I struggle because your neural pathways are actually being forced to do something different, and different activities for you to show up in a different way. So you've also got to think to yourself, it's like you're going to the gym and you're trying to lose weight. It's going to take time to change your mind. It's going to take effort to change your mind. And it's going to take investment, because your investment will be, it could be 30 minutes a day, it could be an hour a day, it could be 3 hours a day, it could be you go to the gym twice a week to start for the first month, and then you increase it to 3 times a week in the second month. But everything is going to be incremental when you're going through a mindset change. And I want you to take that into consideration. Changing your mindset is not going to happen overnight. And I completely disagree with people saying it's going to happen in 30 days. It will give you an awakening in 30 days, but it's going to have an effect if you continue it as a lifestyle. You can't change things overnight. You have to train your brain to change. Train. You think, it's Usain Bolt saying he has trained for 10 years to run 30 seconds. To any normal person, who wants to spend 10 years training for 30 seconds of their life? But that 30 seconds has completely transformed his life. So if you want to change your life, you have to change your mind. And we're going to look at the different types of mindsets today. And I'm going to focus on fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Why am I going to focus on that? Because most people have a fixed mindset. You only do things one way all the time because it's comfortable. Now, I'm personally sick of hearing be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm sick of hearing that, because it's like, that to me is staple of transformation. You can't be comfortable if you want to transform. You've got to start doing the uncomfortable things. I have a client at the moment, and I mean, this woman, she charges towards uncomfortable. If I say to her, you need to do this, she actually does it. She's actually been doing a lot of things, and we actually went through last week her small wins. And when I said to her, look at the things you've achieved, she was like, I honestly have never sat back and looked at the things I've achieved. And I think this is one of the problems that we have in life. We are on a road of pace. Like, everything's got to be fast. I need to be famous. I need to be rich. I need to learn how to trade. I need to do this. I need to be in a relationship. I need to get married. It's all in speed. We need to take a step back and do things from a place where it's about making sure we have the understanding, and then we can implement, and then we can evaluate, and then we can actually reevaluate the approach the second, third, fourth, and fifth time, right? So if you've got a fixed mindset, it's a belief that your abilities are innate and unchangeable. Now, I worked with some, and the thing that I find fascinating in transformation and working in coaching, when you work with, this is why I say people are not real coaches. I worked with a woman who claimed to be a coach. I just think she's good at convincing people to do things differently in some ways, right? I work with this woman who she says she's a coach. I personally disagree. And why I say that is because she has the worst mindset I've ever met in someone in coaching, or, in that area. She hates change. Does that even make sense? Somebody that hates change is a coach. Why coach? That doesn't make any sense to me. I am the kind of person that I will go towards change even when it's challenging, and I will make sure that I am a product of what I teach. Now, there are things in my life I have to change, and I'm working on those constantly, and I'm always interested to see the results. I know I've slowed down as I've gone older because circumstances change you, and also you have to not be a victim to your circumstance. And that's what creates the fixed mindset, is being the victim to your circumstances. So when you have a fixed mindset, it actually leads to an individual who perceives success or failure as a reflection of inherent proficiency. And if you have inherent proficiency, you perceive something like that, it actually limits your growth, but also it limits your interactions and how you actually cultivate relationships and talk to different types of people, because you're so fixed on one way of being that you can't actually cultivate a different version of yourself. And why I love growth mindsets is people who have growth mindsets, right? They're on one spectrum. They think of themselves in a particular way with a fixed mindset, but they have a journey they want to take, and they also see who they're going to become in the other environment of the other mindset. So having a growth mindset means you're eager to learn, you're adaptive, you're actually valuing the embrace of challenges. Now, when you value a challenge, challenges are not fun. Let me make that clear. Challenges are not fun. But you believe that the effort that you're going to put in is going to yield you the result that you want. And also, what I love about growth mindset is that you acquire new skills on the journey. And when they say enjoy the journey, when you're actually trying to get to a different version of you and different version of success for you, it's something where when you have a growth mindset, you actually start looking at how far you've come, because you can see your growth. When you have a fixed belief, you don't think anything you've done has changed. Now, one of the things my client demonstrates to me is that when you're going through change, you battle. She has guilt. And what guilt tells me is that your fixed mindset and because your neural pathways are being challenged. Your neural pathways are being challenged from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So the guilt is, I want to stay the same, but also want to have change. So in order to do that, I have to let go of the old version of myself. And there's that guilt that everybody likes the old version of me because it's comfortable. Now, comfort is great. And I always say to people, once you've grown, once you've got to a place of growth, live in that growth and enjoy the comfortable feeling it gives you. But what I would say to you is why I don't always like comfort, and I think this is why my whole life has been uncomfortable. Why I don't like comfort. Comfort breeds complacency. Comfort breeds complacency. And when you get complacent, you then have a fixed mindset because you don't want to move. I would say get comfortable, enjoy the work you've done, and now get uncomfortable. In that respect of using that term, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because you need that pace to actually enjoy the work you've invested and effort and time and adaptability that you've invested. So you need to think about when you are on a trajectory of growth, you also have to smell the roses. A lot of people don't take the time to smell the roses. That for me is a problem. So, growth mindset. Why I like people with a growth mindset is because they're always looking for new. But this is why I think you need to also take time to rest and enjoy it. Excuse me. Not had anything to eat, and I need to have some more hot water. I drink hot water first thing in the morning, so forgive me for burping. So one of the things of a fixed mindset, and this is what I want to distinguish. When you have a fixed mindset, sometimes it's based and it comes from a place of trauma, and the experiences that you have that have created trauma actually paralyzes you from taking action because you're living in a trauma bond to the experience that prevents you from taking action, which then breeds procrastination. Procrastination isn't just because you're lazy. Sometimes it's attached to trauma. So I want you to consider, if you're not shifting forward, why? What is it that's holding you back? How is it holding you back? What's the impact of it holding you back? The question that you have to keep asking yourself is, why am I in this situation? What is it showing me? Why am I thinking this way? Why am I in the same position I was last year? And it might be financially you're in a different situation. It might be morally you've changed your morals because of bad experiences. And let me tell you one thing, with friendships, which I discussed last week, sometimes you have such a traumatic friendship experience that even me and my cousin, at one stage, we were both like no new friends. And then I actually got a new friend. And I said to her, no, we need to get out of that mindset because there's some really amazing people out there. So when you're dealing with trauma, what that does, it makes it difficult to learn new skills. And also you hold on to the mistakes and failures of the past. And the thing that with trauma and a fixed mindset, what the biggest issue is it actually makes you vulnerable to mental health issues. So I want you to take that into consideration. Trauma and a fixed mindset makes you vulnerable to mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. And I want you to think of sometimes when you are somebody who's experiencing being defensive, which I know there's a lot of people that you could ask them a question, what do you want to know? They always think that you're after something. And sometimes I'm like, I'm not after anything. I just actually generally was asking how you were. And if you're acting like this, to be quite honest, because of the person that I am, and it's not an interaction that I care for, I'm going to leave you in your fixed mindset, and some of the trauma isn't my responsibility to deal with. So sometimes people can be aggressive / defensive. And so when you're in a fixed mindset, there's areas of your life that are not going to improve. I'm not saying they never will improve, but they're not going to improve, right? So growth mindset people, my people, you know, you are likely to embrace challenges, but you also know that they're going to be temporary setbacks. So as I go through even the neuro pathway transition, I know that I go through phases where I get so overwhelmed, I need to take a break from development. And so what I tend to do, I watch movies. I would love to go for ice cream, but I actually start juicing. I go to the gym. I start thinking about what are the things that are going to give me some level of peace of mind that help me get through to the next phase. And also, what I love about having a growth mindset is people give me feedback, and I ask for feedback. So if you do remember me telling someone one of the challenges I had with an environment, she said to me, Dr. Coach Anastasia Moody, she said to me, you care too much. And I think what it was, well, I know what it was, is that I invested a lot of energy and time into that workplace and the people. And I invested myself because I care. But what I realized, none of the people I worked with cared at all. They didn't care about each other, so how could they care about me? So one of the things I was trying to do, I know from a growth mindset, I'm like, yeah, we can all be adaptable, we can all be considerate, but they were not those people. So what I could have done differently is taken the hint and stopped investing energy, time, and mental resource into caring for people who don't care for each other, but also they don't care for me. So these are the things, and also taking that into consideration, it gave me insight into what I need to do differently. So what do you need to do differently if you want to cultivate a growth mindset? And if you're in a fixed mindset, my question to you is, are you happy? Because at the end of the day, being complacent isn't a bad thing. If you're somebody who's complacent and you don't want to change, that's a choice that you're making for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not that person. And as a transformational coach, I believe that you can make changes where necessary in order to be the person you truly, truly believe you are and you truly want to be. So I want to thank you so much for watching, vibing with me, listening today. And if you want to check out the full length of the subject areas I'm talking about, there are links below to my actual podcast, and it's infused with music. So if you do want to listen to it, please do, and enjoy. Write your comments, subscribe and share. And please don't forget, I am a child of immigrants and I'm trying to make it. So I need you people to invest in this channel with me, the Millennial Coach, and this is the core. Peace.